Plaguestar has the community split. Some players miss the old event because it was amazing for quick standings and fast forma. Others prefer the new structure because it finally fixes the public lobby headaches and makes people contribute. Both sides have real points, so let's break it down. Talk about what actually changed, why people are arguing, and how to get good results right now. While you're here, tell me where you stand in the comments, old Plaguestar or new Plaguestar, and tap like and subscribe if you want more grounded Warframe chats without the fluff. The big shift happened at the very start of the bounty. Before, you walked to the mixer and decided the run's shape on the spot. You could add Eidolon Phylaxis for the standings boost and choose whether to drop infested Catalyst to spawn Hemocytes. That gave squads a lot of flexibility. If your goal was speed, you skipped Catalyst and wrapped up early. If you wanted the full fight and payout, you added both. Now, that decision moved to tier selection. When you pick the higher tier, especially tier 3, you don't toss Phylaxis and Catalyst into the pot anymore. The game checks your inventory and consumes one of each when you click into the tier. No gear wheel, no waiting by the cauldron, no last-minute who's adding what debate. That single change is why fans are debating so hard. The old event was perfect for Phylaxis-only runs. You still earned strong standings without summoning Hemocytes, which kept your mission time tight and your loop efficient. If you were stacking Forma or shopping out the vendor, this method was a dream. A pre-made squad could chain runs almost on autopilot. You'd breeze through objectives, cash out, and repeat with barely a dent in your Catalyst supply. When everyone understood the plan, those runs felt smooth, fast, and strangely relaxing. The downside was public matchmaking. The mixer turned into a gamble every other lobby. One person brought Phylaxis, another didn't, a third threw in Catalyst by accident or out of habit, and suddenly your quick standings loop turned into a boss run you didn't ask for. And if you were unlucky, you got the player who contributed nothing, stood around, and still expected the maximum reward because somebody else paid the cost. Let's be honest, leeching is part of Warframe culture in low-stakes content. I even do soft leeching when I'm leveling on Steelpath Telesto, but I still do my part. I drop my on-call crew at the right time so the squad benefits from shared affinity. I tag enemies and I keep the pace. That's the difference. You help the team. The old Plaguestar often rewarded the people who didn't. The new structure tackles that head-on. If you want the high tier, you bring the items and the game consumes them up front. Everyone entering has skin in the game. That kills the mixer drama and prevents those awkward standoffs where one person is lecturing the squad about not adding Catalyst, another person is ignoring chat, and a third is already waiting at extraction. You sign into Tier 3, you all signed the same contract. It's clear, it's enforced by the game, and it protects your time. That doesn't mean the criticism is wrong. The biggest thing the new setup takes away is flexibility. In the past, if you were low on mats or short on time, you could choose Phylaxis only and keep lapping for standings. You saved your Catalyst charges and kept mission times down. With the higher tiers now, Hemocytes are baked into the deal. That means your average mission time is longer than those old Phylaxis-only loops, and your resource cost per run is higher. If your goal was pure standings per minute with minimal spend, the change hurts. It's fair to feel that sting. Here's where I land on convenience versus control. For public play, the new flow is better. You no longer have to equip anything on the gear wheel. You won't waste minutes chasing people to the mixer. You won't restart because somebody pressed the wrong item. The game moves the rules to the start and removes the most common failure points. For players who hop on after work and just want consistent progress, that's a big win. Fairness matters too. In the old event, the unspoken rule was that everyone should share the cost if you expected the maximum reward. The problem is, it was unspoken. The game didn't enforce it, so people brought nothing and still collected the same payout if others covered. That felt lousy because you weren't just carrying damage, you were carrying the bill. Now, the buy-in is mandatory for the top tiers. You spend before the planes load. That protects your effort and sets a standard for the squad. Fewer forgot my wallet moments, fewer passive passengers, and far fewer arguments. If you're new to the event, or your clan doesn't have the research done yet, this can feel like a wall. There's a big difference between choosing to spend Catalyst and being required to spend Catalyst. If you're just learning the ropes, start on the lower tier to get comfortable with the route and timing. Treat it like gym progression. You build up reps at a lighter weight, then move up when your form is clean. That step keeps your inventory healthy and your sessions positive. Let's get practical, because advice you can use tonight is the real value. Craft in batches. Don't build a single Phylaxis or a single Catalyst and then stare at a timer between runs. Queue multiples so you can run a proper session without crafting midstream. Do a focused Plains resource lap with a loot frame and, if available, a resource booster. 10 minutes of prep resets the entire mood of the grind. Plan your loadout around a guaranteed boss phase at the higher tiers. Bring a kit that erases chunky targets, keeps you alive long enough to stand and shoot, and sustains status or armor strip. If someone in your squad has strip covered, lean into damage. If you're the buffer, call your timing so everyone dumps damage together. These are small habits, but they shave minutes off an hour. About the Hemocyte, yes, it's part of the contract now at the higher tiers, but it isn't a brick wall. People are already doing 5-minute solo clears with solid builds and a clean route. If that sounds impossible, trust me, it's rhythm more than magic. Keep consistent debuffs, avoid face-tanking nonsense, and burst with intention instead of spraying all over the place. I've shared guides that walk through fast steel path kills. Check those out in the description if you're stuck. You don't need a lottery-winning Riven. You need a repeatable plan and enough discipline to stick to it. If your heart is still with standings per minute, you still have a path. Use the lower tier for quick loops when your resources are tight or your time window is small. Mix in higher tier runs once your stockpile is comfortable. You won't match the old Phylaxis-only top tier numbers, but you also won't lose runs to randoms changing the mixer plan. There's real value in predictability. When you know exactly what you queued for, you route better, you stack better, and you avoid the tilt that kills momentum. Let's talk squad behavior because it's the hidden multiplier. Be the teammate you want to find. Ping objectives. Tag boss parts. Announce your buff windows. If you have a spare second, drop a Spectre or your on-call crew to widen the damage bubble and affinity sharing. Lead with one simple line at mission start if you're in public vector. Tier 3. Bosses guaranteed, will pop buffs at spawn, stick together. That one sentence turns 4 strangers into a team. The fastest squads aren't always the ones with perfect gear. They're the ones that act like a unit. There's also a mindset shift worth calling out. A lot of the frustration here isn't about mechanics, it's about losing a favorite routine. We all build comfort loops in live service games. When that loop changes, it feels like the floor moved under our feet. It's okay to miss the old flow, but try to judge the new flow on its own merits. Give yourself a few sessions to settle in. Once you stop fighting the idea and start optimizing the route, the time melts away faster than you expect. If you still want the spirit of speed farming, chase it inside the mission rather than at the mixer. Pick frames that compress travel, survivability, and single target damage. Clean up your objective order so you aren't doubling back. Learn where the Hemocyte spawns and pre-position so your first burst lands instantly. If you're in a pre-made, hard call rolls before loading. Strip, buff, burst, sustain, rotate. That rhythm replaces the old don't add catalyst, micromanagement, and gets you the same end result. More completions in less time. Now let's be honest about the trade-offs. The new system demands more upfront and gives you fewer ways to dodge the boss at the top tiers. It costs more per run and asks you to be prepared. In return, it removes the worst public lobby problems, makes contribution non-negotiable, and keeps runs from getting hijacked at the mixer. If you're mostly a solo or pre-made player who loved the surgical speed of the old meta, you lost a tool you used well. If you're mostly a public player who wants clean, predictable sessions, you gained reliability. I would love a future middle ground, like a Phylaxis-only advanced option with trimmed rewards, or a pre-mission toggle that locks the mixer rules for the squad. That would preserve flexibility without reopening the door to chaos. If you like that idea, Or have a better one? Throw it in the comments so the smartest takes float to the top. Here's a compact game plan you can run tonight. Do one short materials lap to restock. Craft Phylaxis and Catalyst in batches so the timer never interrupts you. Queue Tier 1 to warm up and lock in your route, then switch to Tier 3 for your main session once you're flowing. Bring a boss-capable setup that doesn't collapse if your timing slips. In squads, assign strip and buffs out loud before launching. During the Hemocite, burst in windows, keep your debuffs up, and avoid sloppy deaths that waste 30 seconds at a time. End the run, bank your standings, and jump right back in while your rhythm is still hot. My personal take is simple. The old system was incredible in trusted groups and painful in randoms. The new system is solid in randoms and still fine in pre-mades once you adapt. I miss the old Phylaxis-only flexibility for certain grinds, but I don't miss the arguments, the stalling, and the freeloaders. Moving the cost to tier selection makes the social contract honest. If we choose Tier 3, we all chose it. Nobody got tricked and nobody got carried for free. If you're struggling with the Hemocite or unsure about builds, I've got guides linked in the description that lay out quick, repeatable approaches. They'll show you how to keep your debuffs rolling, time your bursts, and avoid the panic that turns a clean fight into a mess. Use those, tweak to your gear, and you'll feel the runtime drop within a few bounties. I'm curious where you land after a week with the new flow. Do you feel the loss of flexibility more than the gain in fairness? Or are you like me and happy to trade some control for consistent public runs? Tell me your best time, your favorite frames, and the one change you'd make to please both camps. I read the comments and often pin the smartest tips so they help more players. If this breakdown helped you see both sides and gave you a plan you can actually use, drop a like so other Tenno find it. Share your own tricks for faster Hemocite phases. And if you want more honest Warframe talk and practical guides, subscribe so you catch the next upload. I'll see you out on the plains. Stay safe, stay kind, and if you queue the top tier, bring your stuff and do your part. Your squad will thank you, and your future self will too.